welcome. I am so happy to see you again. I hope everyone's had a wonderful and stitchy week. I sort of did. I had wonderful news. I actually had entered a drawing that somebody was doing at Cat Crazy Creations, and I won. And I won this beautiful like wedding bell pull, and I think it's either Dutch or it seems to be Dutch. It's Copenhagen, so yes. And it's beautiful, and I thought it would make kind of a nice gift for my daughter Alexandria. She's married to Scott, and I thought they might like that. They're working on building a container home, which is like homesteading, and it's this is the pattern in this kit, and I might change the colors up a little bit, but I think it's really pretty, and I'm going to enjoy working on it. So when I start it, I will include it in my FlossTube rotation. And thank you again, Sonia. It was wonderful to win your giveaway. And excuse me, let me get my, I did make notes this time after saying I never make notes. Last video I did a shout out to Laurel Campbell for being the one who was doing the Jack of Clubs Jim Shore, like my Queen of Hearts I started. Only in my video I said Lauren because I had a brain freeze, and I apologize for that. It's Laurel Campbell. So thank you. I'm really enjoying working on the Queen. I hope you're enjoying the Jack as much. And then there was also Bev Evinger asked that I respond to her tag. She had 2 questions, and excuse me for looking down, I have to read. Do you make a working copy? And if I make a working copy, do I mark it? And yes, I make a working copy. Sometimes I even enlarge my working copy so I can see better to place my stitches. And when I mark it, I showed you my origami folded box the last time. I have a red, this is a Prismacolor Call Erase, and it's called, what's it, Carmine Red. So I bought a color erase box, Prismacolor. It has an eraser on it, so the colored pencil will actually erase if I make a mistake, which I'm human, so mistakes happen, but that's how I mark my working copy. And then my pencil fits here also, right underneath that flap of my origami box. And like I showed last time, my scissors are over here, and my threads are in there. So works really well for me, and that's how I mark my chart. And then the second question is, when working the chart, how do you work it? I work my charts, like my height, I'm working from my upper left, and I'm trying to work down the column, maybe over a little bit if necessary. I've never done that before. It's working out pretty well. Generally what I do is I'm a cross-country stitcher, which I'd never heard before, but I generally take a color, and as long as I have a thread length, I will work that color as far as that thread goes. And generally I'm a pretty thrifty stitcher, so I usually look for the shortest route possible. I will cut a thread and continue because I don't like to go more than, say, 4 or 5 squares away from where I'm stitching. And I can be eclectic, where if I can count to the space and I want to put it in, I will. And there's like a object I think if I put in, I can stitch around it easier, I will do that. So I guess that's the best I can tell you I stitch. Sometimes I'll start from the middle and work out when all else fails, but that's how I stitch. I hope that helps someone. I also wanted to make a note before I get into my whips that I was watching I Heart Cross Stitch video a couple of days ago, and she was talking about starting a personal sal, which is called Go Gold for Charlotte, and it's for a little girl. It's for the month of September, and the month of September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and so she's doing a hashtag Go Gold for Charlotte sal, where you stitch on a project with gold in it, and gold is the color for childhood cancer awareness, and it's for this little girl Charlotte who's going to be turning 3, who was diagnosed with liver cancer when she was only 15 months old, which is really sad. But Charlotte is a cutie, and there's pictures in I Heart Cross Stitch's last video, so I hope that you go and you take a look and you decide to stitch some gold for the month of September for Charlotte, and just have to hashtag gold for Charlotte. But I Heart Cross Stitch's video explains all that, and that just struck me as a really worthwhile thing to do. So I intend to find a good chart with gold and to stitch the month of September. And I better hurry up because tomorrow is September 1st. And I have not really picked what I may do for that. Although my 3 Wise Men whip has a lot of gold in it, so I may just work on that. And that'll be my hashtag Go Gold for Charlotte stitch along. And I think that's all the other stuff I have, so let me get into my whip progress. I did pretty good this week on my Queen of Hearts. That's my Jim Shore project. She has lots of beads in her, which I'm going to do last. I'm not going to touch the beads until I get all the cross stitches in, at least until I can stop moving the work around in the frame. But I've actually been stitching it in hand, and I'm enjoying stitching it in hand a lot more. I forget that that's how I used to always stitch, was in hand. So this is what it looks like right now, and you can see all the progress I've made. If you remember from my last video, I hadn't done anything inside the card, and this is what it is now. And this light blue outline right in here, this is actually around the Queen's head, so I'm going to be moving into the golds and browns of her hair shortly. And I still have to finish all that lighter beige in the outside rectangle of the card, and there's still a little bit more of the darker beige to put in too. I'm just taking a break from that and working on the inside of the card a little bit. But I'm enjoying that, and she's coming along really nicely. And I'm going to show you some bunny because I have worked on her, and as far as I'm concerned at this point, some bunny is as done as she's going to be for now, until I want to find a phrase to put in here, and I have an alphabet book, so I want to put something in here for my daughter. But this is what the actual project looks like, and you can see all the flowers, and there's like little flowers falling from the sky. I didn't do the whole pattern. I just did the sun bunny, and then I did the one set of flowers down here at her feet. I'm not going to put all the flowers in the sky. I just want some bunny, and you can see all her back stitching is done now. And what I'm going to do is I want to put a quote, out to this side a little ways, and then I will wash it, block it, and frame it, and she will be all ready to send to my daughter. And then I will get her version whenever she finishes it. And that's a good example of how I work. It's really how I do most crafts. I get an idea and it gives me inspiration, and then sometimes, not always, I'll modify it to meet my needs or my aesthetic. And that's a good example of that. The wedding bell pull will be another, because I have ideas for that outside of the standard chart that comes with it. And then moving on to my next whip, I've got my Three Wise Men, and there is a ton of gold in the border and in the turbans and in some of the robes and in the box that contains the frankincense, myrrh, whatever that is, or gold. So so that's why I'm going to use that for Go Gold for Charlotte for September. And this is where I am now. The last time I showed this, I had started filling in this turban, and I did have the green. And so I didn't get a whole lot further on this. I did put in his robe, this rust color in his robe, and in his turban. And you can see my little heart needle minder. But yeah, this is coming along nice, and I intend to stitch on this quite a bit more this week. But I'm really enjoying the Three Wise Men. Excuse me. And then I stitched on the 24th, I think it was. Stitch Mania did Mellow Yellow. And so for Mellow Yellow, I did Night Music from the Just Cross Stitch Collector's Edition. And I really was having a good time with this. And I will continue working on it. And I will show you where I got. And this is on a piece of 14 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. So it was actually yellow and some corals. And I managed to lighten it up, so I was very happy. And then this is what I showed this bicycle pendant the last time in my video that when I had bought it as part of Stash Acquisition. So I did make it into a needle minder, and I put 2 needles on the back of the pendant, and then these are or 2 magnets on the back of the pendant, sorry. And then these are the 2 magnets on the back holding it in place. And you can see my needle and the thread that is still there. But I got quite a bit of the moon done. It's probably hard to see right now, but he's got a nose, eye, and a mouth. So I'm almost done with the moon. And then I'll be working on the black cat and the night music. I'll show you that again. Now those are just DMC flosses. And let me jump ahead a little bit, because I went and I did buy some more floss, but those are the colors in Night Music, which is beautiful. I love that, plus 310 for the cat. But what I did was I went and I bought some of the satin floss and metallic floss, and I'm thinking about using these, and it doesn't come across, but this is E310. So it's got glitter in it, and I think I'm going to use that for the cat. And then the pumpkin and the words may have some of this in it. I may do blended thread with that, just to kind of spice Night Music up. That's the way I roll. And then I think, yeah, I didn't touch my Haid. I didn't get to that. I am hoping to work on that a little bit too, because In the Garden Shed is calling me. I bought a large format one, and I think it's big. It's over 2 feet. But I don't know that it could just be a large format pattern. I really have to go check that out closer, because I really didn't do enough research when I ordered the pattern. I know that it might just be the pattern is enlarged, because it's like 64 pages. It's a big one. And I think that's all it is the pattern's enlarged, which is what I was hoping it was, so that makes me happy. I didn't get the 2 patterns that I ordered over a week ago from 123 Stitch, which was the Elephant Biscornu and the Pretty Little New York. I haven't gotten those yet, which is weird. But and the dates for shipping keep moving out, so maybe it's just they were out of stock. But it didn't say that. But the dates have moved, and the last I looked, they were supposed to ship yesterday and today. So hopefully that comes soon. These are just some other flosses that picked up when I picked up the others. And I picked this up because this acid green color is like one of my favorite colors. And that's S471. Not going to bother telling you the other ones, but S471 is one of my favorite colors. And that's why I got that one. And then these were my other two purchases from 123 Stitch. And that's pretty much what I ordered this week. I got this lavender and lace Michael because my son's name is Michael. And I love him dearly. He's 32 years old, so he's not a baby or a little boy. But I thought I might cross-stitch this for him. And for now, I can hang it in his room here, and then if he ever settles, he will have this as a memory of his mother and my love for him. And I should tell you that when Michael was born, he was born 9 weeks early, and he was in intensive care in Albany Medical Center here in New York. And he was in the pediatric intensive care for like a month. And it was touch and go. And he's now 6 foot 3 inches tall, 6 feet 3 inches tall, and very healthy. And, you know, it just goes to show, if 32 years ago medicine was that good, I can't even imagine what it is now. Miracles happen. And moving on to my last purchase, of course, I keep looking at Death by Cross Stitch, but I have to say that I want to do this big red ship of life. It really strikes my fancy for some reason. Not my usual style, but I want to try something like this. And I thought this would be the perfect thing, because I do like monochromatic. I have done some monochromatic stitching in the past, and I just think this big red ship of life is pretty cool. So I hope to start that pretty soon. I'm thinking, I've signed up for most of the stitch-alongs on Stitch Mania. I haven't really sat down and picked out exactly what I'm going to work on for each of the stitch-alongs. I have a pretty good idea. But, so I'm hoping to fit this into like the monthly sale or something. And I also signed up for some of the stitch-alongs on Cross Stitch Finish Line. So I have to get myself together and pick out some projects and make sure I have enough floss and fabric and see where my whips fit. And yeah, get stitching. I'm looking forward to it. And I think that that's about it for me. I've bought a couple new, floss storage boxes and a couple of rolls of regular, like fiddler's cloth, because I love fiddler's cloth, so I figured I'd put a couple of rolls of that in my stash. But other than that, I've been pretty good. I think the patterns I bought will hold me for a while. I'm enjoying watching all of your videos. Katie at Queen of Starts and Stash Queen and Coffee Stitcher and all of the mainstays of FlossTube amaze me. I don't know. I don't think I could do that many starts. I mean, it's tempting. And I am a process stitcher more than a finish stitcher because I do like the process of cross stitching. I just don't think I could have that many things going at once. But kudos for those who can. And thank you everyone who comments on my videos. I really truly look forward to reading your comments. I did get a request for the schematics for the floor stand that I made and the parts list. And I will try to find the blog I found it on, and I will link that, and then I will put the modifications that I made and make that available. But I think that'll be good for that. But that's coming. I don't know how long that'll take me. And I did put a video up on my Kelly Bell channel, which is my crafting channel, yesterday of how I made my polymer clay seahorse, which my granddaughter has named Finley. And it's a pretty easy polymer clay sculpt. My granddaughter made 2 of them at my Polymer Clay Guild last Saturday, and she's 15. And I should say, Jacqueline was progressing nicely on her dog cross stitch, but she now has another new start because she just started Actually I'm a Real Princess the other day, and that's a lot of pink, which I was kind of surprised, but she really got a kick out of it. So she has started another stitch too. And you never know, she has got a YouTube channel. You never know when she may start doing FlossTube videos. I'm very proud of her. She's a really good girl. But I think that's it for me. Again, thank you for joining me. I hope that you subscribe to my channel and that you enjoy my videos. Any comments are appreciated. Thumbs up are great too. So thank you for joining me. And until the next time, have a beautiful, stitchy, colorful week.